Hi again then guys, and so we've got another PP specific circuit setup for you today, and this time it's another requested tune for the Mazda 110S. Now there are a couple of different versions of this car on the game, and you can pretty much use this tune for any of the Cosmos. Just adjust your power and weight accordingly. Now I've gone for sport softs. Of course if you go for racing tyres you'll be even quicker. For the suspension we've got the ride height on 80, front and rear, springs on 750 and 575, the dampers and anti-roll on 4, neutral camber and toe. We'll come back to the gearbox last as we usually do. Now for the diff, you can adjust this depending on your driving style. As I've mentioned before, I like my cars to have quite stiff handling, so I've got the initial torque as high as possible for that, acceleration and braking as low as possible. If you find this to be a little bit too heavy around corners, you can lower that initial torque and perhaps increase your acceleration and braking sensitivity. Now as far as the power, we are running an oil change, and you get pretty decent power out of this car at the 450 pp level. Now I've gone for the stage 3 engine tune, high RPM turbo, intake tuning and the sports computer, and as far as the weight we've gone for the full weight loss package. Now finally for the gearbox, and this is one of the best things about this car actually, the top speed is very good for the 450 pp level, especially from predominantly a track car. Now we've got an auto setting of 130, then for the individual gears 3.6, 2450, 1.8, 1.4 and 1150, and I've gone for a final drive of 3.2. Now if you need a little bit more top end performance, especially with draft potential, you can take that final drive even lower, but the top speed as is around or just over 150. So for the power, and especially for the PP, it's a seriously quick little car. So that's it for the mechanical setup overall. Now let's take it out to a track to see what it can do. Now with this particular car, the handling does have some trademarks that you'd expect from a classic. You can get the tail out if you push it hard enough, but overall, as I mentioned in my review for this car recently, I consider this to be one of the best small, relatively low powered classics that you can get. It does a lot with the power that it's given. The rotary engine is really allowed to shine in such a small lightweight package, and it makes a very, very good all-round low PP racer. And one of the reasons why I consider it to be so good, and not necessarily the best, there are other good ones as well, not just in the classic category, but one of the reasons why I do consider it to be so good is often in lower PP racing you have cars which are good at either one thing or another. They're very rarely good at everything. They're either good in a straight line or good around corners. You don't get that many cars which are very, very strong at both. There are some, but relatively few. This car is one of those few. The top speed is very good, the acceleration is also excellent for its PP level, and the handling can quite easily dispatch most other cars at this PP level. So if you do decide to use this tune, obviously I hope you find it fun, and definitely it is a competitive track car. And if you'd like to keep up with other builds like this in the future, be sure to hit subscribe down below for those. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.